All right, I'm live, and I got my nails done today. You match my hair. Anyway, hi you guys. I know no one's here yet, but I'm hoping you guys come. I know it's a popular night. It's Saturday night. No, it isn't. It's Friday night. But Friday night, on the night of the Dodgers parade, is a big night. So if nobody shows up, I'm just going to tell about this topic, and that'll be that. That's fine. I understand. Um, this is the topic tonight is Scientology exclusion or inclusion. And before I get into it, hey, Verity, hi. Thank you for coming on. Oh, I like your heart. I like that. And your peace signs. Beautiful. Really beautiful. I don't know where to get those. Maybe you can tell me sometime where to find them. I can find them on other things, but I can't find them on StreamYard. Forgot to put on my lipstick. There we go. So how are you, Verity? How are you? Is everything going good? Everything is going well here. I was really happy the Dodgers won. I'm kind of a Dodgers fan. So it was really fun for me to have them win. It was great. I mean, it was great for everybody. I think they said 23,000 people were down there today watching the parade. If it wasn't so many people, I would have gone, but it was just too many people for me. And also the parking is almost impossible. I remember when they had the Women's March after Trump won the first time. And Spanky and I went down there. And, oh God, I hope this thing isn't upside down. Anyway, Spanky and I went down there. And we decided we'll take an Uber downtown because we knew there's never any parking unless you go really early in the morning. Like I was listening to a lot of guys on the news and they were like, yeah, we were here at 4 a.m. I'm not going to go at 4 a.m. No. But anyway, we took an Uber down there and then, no, we drove down there and parked somewhere. We did find a parking place somewhere, but it was a ways away. And then we Ubered up to it. And we didn't really march, but we just hung with the different, picketers and protesters. And it was fun to be there. It is. It's always fun to be with a group. I'm good. My mom's funeral is on Monday. Oh, that's so hard. I'm so sorry, Verity. I didn't realize your mother had passed away. What did she pass away from? I hope it was peaceful and relatively easy. Yeah, getting through it, that's a lot to get through. It is. It is. I know. But at least make sure to celebrate her life. Hi, T from Scientology Audit Perth. All right. She's 89. Okay, see, there you go. So to me, when someone's 89 and they pass away, it's time to celebrate their life. It's sad because they're gone, but they're never really gone anyway. First of all, she's always in your heart. And, that's like me. I have, my YouTube site is Tori Magoo 44 in honor of my dad because he passed away when I was 22. He was only 51. He was very young. But I just wasn't willing to give him up, so I keep him around. I do. And my email is Tori Crispin 44, which 44 was his football number. So he's always around me one way or the other. And the other thing you can do that I've helped a lot of people with who've had someone pass away. My mother, when my dad died, he was a celebrity, so she made these scrapbooks of all kinds of letters and cards and articles written by my dad and stuff like that. Okay, so there was that. And it's been a big comfort to me. But there's a lot of people where not many people or no one will send a card. my one friend, her son killed himself. He was only, I think, 21 or 22. And I said, you know what? Ask him to write one story about James. Just ask him to write one story. And I tell you, it was so wonderful. We cried and laughed. It was just amazing. It was just so heartwarming for her. And we made it into a scrapbook, and she's had it forever. It's really a cool way to do it. And for someone 89, there's probably tons of people who have stories about your mom. It'd be fun. Hey, witness, hi. I know, it's good to see you too. Definitely, she had a long life, which will be celebrated. Okay, good. That's the main thing, is that if you keep that in mind, then it's not as hard as if you're just grieving away, because she wouldn't want that anyway. I'm pretty sure she'd want you to celebrate her life. So that's good. That's good. So witness, you let me know when you can come up, because I'm ready. I talked to PayPal today, and I have the money to get my laptop, and Mark Bunker wrote me and told me what kind of laptop to get. So there you go. So if you can't, I understand. But if you can, please let me know. So there you go. So anyway, tonight I'm going to talk about a topic called, and hi 49ers for life. I'm sorry I missed you. Scientology had a big event in Clearwater, and Aaron said that DM was going to speak. Like anyone cares. I've been to so many events where he's speaking. I mean, when I was in the church, but also when I was out of the church. And, they always have all the bushes up and everything, so you can't see anything or hear anything. And I don't know, to me, he's a knucklehead. That's the essence of David Miscavige. He's a knucklehead who doesn't listen to people that could have really helped him. And, know-it-alls know everything. They think they know everything. That's just the way it is. All right, so let me get into this. Exclusion or inclusion. All of us have been somewhere where we've been either included and how good it feels when you're included, or excluded, where it's like, oh no, we don't have a chair for you. It's very icky. It's just, and that's actually, just 1 second. Witness is saying, okay, cool, amazing. I can come up next week. Okay, I'll text you. Also, I have, okay. Oh, you have laryngitis, so I need a few days. Oh yeah, definitely take a few days. Don't come up with laryngitis. No, I don't want you to get it. That's more stress on you, and I don't want to get laryngitis either. So either way, I take care of you first, and then when you can, we will, but not until. Okay, so exclusion, probably most of you, I know I have, where I've been in different places where you're just not included. It's like, oh, you're not on a list, or you're not, hi, Connie B. You're just not included. You're excluded. And it feels pretty icky. And when you think about it, I don't know, I've only been in one religion besides Scientology, which I don't consider a religion. But the Catholic Church, I was raised in the Catholic Church, and they are very inclusive, I think. I mean, they were to me, they were to all my friends, that, even when we really screwed up, which we did a lot, they were very inclusive and helpful. And that's how I think a religion should be. Cults are always exclusive. They always have the very specific words that if you don't know the words, you're not really part of the group. They have certain things you have to do that you have to follow along. And if you don't do that, you're not part of the group. And, it just goes on and on and on. But it's very exclusive. And it feels kind of icky unless you start going along with them. And then they're like, oh, good. I'm glad you're with us. That's so great. And they start the love bombing, which is a thing that, people who write about cults talk about love bombing. And it's tricky because it can feel so quote unquote good, but it really isn't. It's because it's really phony. That's the way it is. So anyway, I forget what else I was going to tell you about it. My son came over and helped me with a bunch of stuff, and so I kind of got distracted. It was good to see him, though. He's a great kid. God, he's a good kid. So you guys tell me what you'd like me to talk about, because I have a feeling you have something. Verity? What? Well, Verity's mother's passed away. So I'm very sorry about that. We all are. And she's got a funeral coming up, which is tricky to go through. But like I said, if you can, with someone who passes away, especially when they've lived a long life like her mother, which is 89 years, you can celebrate their life, because it's amazing that she lived to be 89. I think that's fantastic. Witness, is your mother still alive? I don't know what happened. It seems like everyone got very quiet. Hello? You guys have to talk to me. Well, have any of you ever been excluded or included where you really felt good or you really felt bad? Hi, 49ers for life. Hey, yes, my parents are still alive, but we're not, no contest now. They're in Illinois. Why are you not in contact with them? Are they Scientologists? Do you think the exclusivity appeals to people when they join the cult? That's a good question, Verity. That is a very good question. It didn't to me, because I don't like exclusivity. But I think to some people, yeah, I think you're right. Because it to some people, they get into Scientology and they immediately think they're better than everyone else just by being a Scientologist. Because everyone else is a WOG and you're a Scientologist. So you're sort of in the good show. The rest of them are WOGs. And it turns out WOG is a very racist term from Africa and not a good one. But we didn't know that. Hubbard said it meant wise old gentleman, which is a total made-up lie. But I think you're right. Some people, it does appeal to them, yes. No, not Scientology, other stuff. I can update you when I see you. No, not Scientology. Okay. Not Scientology, other stuff. You can update me when you see me. Okay. That sounds good. Hi, Jill Anderson. I think the ones who were spared the volcano are labeled SP, spared people. That's funny. They were spared the volcano. No one spared the volcano because that's the cover of Dianetics, which is the beginning step in Scientology. And ironically, this is a really weird thing. Dianetics is the beginning book in Scientology. It's called Book 1. Now, years after I've been trained as an auditor and and interned and everything else. Now I'm at Flag and they pull me in and they say, okay, we're going to create a new program called the Flag Legionnaires, and you're going to be one of them, Tori. And we want you to go around the United States putting on Book 1 seminars. I said, okay. And you get paid a little bit of money, not much, but you have to really get people to come to these seminars. And I did. I was really good at it. Like I flew into Chicago. There were like 5 people that were coming. I said, come on, let's get on the phones. And we got on the phones and we got 200 people there. So, but the thing that's interesting is that the worst students of all, Scientology is like a triangle for auditing and training. And the higher up people were trained, like class 6s, class 8s, which are supposed to be really together. They know the tech. They could not do Dianetics for the life of them. They were awful. And they'd be like, gee, I don't really know what the reactive mind is. I think I've got to clay demo that. I'd be like, you're a class 6, you're a class 8. Of course you know what it is. This is a short seminar. It's a 2-day seminar. Move along. It was really funny. It was really funny to see because it happened over and over and over. And I'll tell you something else about it in a minute. 49ers for Life question. I know you didn't believe in OT powers when you were in. Did your ex-husband think he had OT powers? Good question. I don't really know. I don't think so, because I know who he thought he was. He thought he was a specific person from last lifetime. And that specific person had specific talent that my ex-husband did not. And I would say, look, if you're so-and-so, you should be able to do blah. Because it kind of ticked me off, because he could have made a lot of money if he used those skills, but he wouldn't. And whatever. I don't think he really did. And I know his parents didn't. And they got in 1950. His father finished OT 7. And I said, okay, I want to hear your win. Tell me your win. And he goes, you really want to hear my win? And I said, yeah, I really do. He goes, all right, here is my win, Tori. Now I can give my money to the charities that I want. And I was like, that's your win? That is, in Scientology, it's called a red tag, meaning, put the red flag up. This guy's got to get in session and get fixed immediately, because that is not a win. That's like, I want out. Okay, when I refer to WOG, I just say the W word, clunky but not offensive. That's good. Yeah, I don't like it. I never did. There was a guy that was a finance guy, and he came in to talk to us at CC once, and he said, I don't like using the word WOG. Now, this is almost as offensive now that I'm out. He said, I just call people pre-Scientologists. Which at the time was better for me than a WOG, because I knew WOG had some weird thing to it. I didn't know what it was. But pre-Scientologist is pretty offensive too. All right, now ME2U, California Coast. Hi. What was the youngest child auditor that you knew of? I never knew child auditors. I didn't. That is a whole, you can talk to Serge about that. And those guys, we were public. I was not in the Sea Org. So I think in the Sea Org, they had child auditors. Public, you have to understand, we had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to be audited. So we're not going to go in session with a kid having paid, $10,000, $20,000. It just wouldn't happen. And I never saw it. I never saw any of my friends get audited by children, and I never was audited by children. And I don't think I would. It's just sort of like, no. It's just, I had a different view than that. It just wasn't going to happen. Verity, it was definitely a clunky word. Yeah, it is a clunky word. WOG life. Hello, OSA. Well, all right. XRP Army GA Yoda. All right. Did you subscribe? Are you subscribed? Just curious, the two of you look new. I don't know that I've seen you before. And I forgot to tell Sophie that I was going to be on, so she doesn't know. So we're unmoderated. Anyway, it's okay. I'm cool. I've been running this thing for 20 years by myself, so I'm okay. Question. While you were in Scientology, did you view kids as little adults? No. I honestly, I had a completely different view than what you're thinking of and what people are talking about. Children can't consent. I mean, of course they can't consent. They're kids. My son stayed at home with me until he was in kindergarten. So I homeschooled him. And I didn't think of him as a little adult. He was my son. He was a young man. I mean, he was a kid, until he got to be older. And then, he slowly grew up and he's really cool. And he came over tonight and helped me. But no, I did a whole different thing with him. If you ever hear my story with him, it's pretty wild because, oh, there goes my light. Anyway, it's pretty wild because I learned about a man named Dr. Glenn Doman. And I flew from LA with a bunch of mothers, and we went to Philadelphia to the Institute for the Achievement of Human Potential. And we did the week-long seminar, and we learned about how to teach our kids how to read, how to write, not how to write, to read, math, bits of intelligence, a running program, violin, and I taught him Japanese. I mean, a little bit, not much, but it was fun trying to learn it anyway. I'm good people. All right, good. I'm glad to know that. XRP Army GA Yoda. Okay, so that's good. I think most of you that are here are good people. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you. So just to finish my Dianetic thing, though, oddly enough, a bunch of people, their big thing in Dianetics is to go clear, right? That's the goal of Dianetics. And with that, you erase your reactive mind. Pardon me. I have a frog. So that's the goal. Now we start teaching these people out in the field, book one. None of them, not one person bought a course in Scientology. No one. And I thought that was really weird. It was like, wow, that's unusual. Because in the org, they're always like, oh, it's so expanding and everyone's doing this. But it really wasn't. I was out in the field watching it. So these people, sorry, these people, there's a thing called co-auditing, where I could audit you and then you audit me. We both get trained in how to do it. And it's just sort of like talk therapy anyway. So we would audit each other, and these guys figured out how to audit each other. I mean, we trained them on how to do it. And then they went out in the field and started sending letters in. We're done. We're clear. We went clear out in the field, all by themselves. Isn't that wild? It was so wild. Miscavige canceled it immediately. The whole program was canceled. It really shows, they're not there for the tech and to help people. They're there for money. That's it. And this was another example of where, people were learning book one. But once they figured out we can go clear by ourselves. We don't have to go into Scientology. All right, it's canceled. The whole program. The guy who's running it's declared suppressive. That's it. I know. It was. I mean, it's just so Scientology. In chapter 2 and 3, RLH, it's LRH, clearly says you don't need any other book or course, but then he created Scientology. I know, my mother and father-in-law were in 1950, and they watched that go down, and there were a lot of book one auditors, and Hubbard came up with Scientology and the Church of Scientology. And a lot of the earlier Dianeticists went, nope, not us. We are not interested. We're out of here. And they left. Of course, the DM is all about money. Yeah, so was Hubbard. Hubbard was totally about money, too. CC, hi. Were any not yet enlightened with LRH's wisdom? In other words, the rest of the 6 billion persons on planet T cult? I'm not sure if you're really asking a question or just making a joke. Remember, OT 9 and 10 are on the way. Remember, I have them paid for. I have 9, 10, and 11 paid for. There's only 2 people, I think, on the planet that have them, me and my husband. It's because his mother, bought these packages early on from Hubbard. Hubbard stole Parsons' boat and girlfriend and his wife. I think it was his wife he stole. But yeah, he did. He was a thief, and he was a criminal and a thief, and Miscavige, I will say this about Hubbard, in my opinion, having worked underneath both of them, and not worked underneath them, but, studied underneath them. Hubbard had a whole list of things that you had to go through. And the last thing he said is you will disconnect from someone. But it is the last thing that you should do. If you can't fix it with all these other little tools, and the person is really suppressing you, you'll have to disconnect. Whereas Miscavige, just like disconnection, get him. I didn't even do anything, right? They were supposed to do all those tools. He didn't do anything. They just declared me SP. Here you go. That's my SP declare from the Church of Scientology. Pathetic. And that's Miscavige. That's a big difference between Miscavige and Hubbard. Yeah, his wife. Yeah, that's right. He stole the wife. Yeah. We went to see a play. I think I told a bunch of you, but a few of you weren't here when I told it. We went to see a play at Parsons College, and it was about Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley, and L. Ron Hubbard. And Aleister Crowley was always up in the balcony for the whole play. And Hubbard was this super nerdy guy. And so at the break, I asked this kid, I said, what's the deal with Hubbard? I mean, I never saw him as nerdy. I never saw him as hip or sharp or anything else. I just never saw him as a super klutzy, nerdy guy. And it really jumped out compared to the other two. And he said, well, that's just how we all saw him. So that's how we made him. I said, well, okay, well, why is Aleister Crowley up in the ceiling through the whole play? And he said, because Hubbard and Parsons never met Aleister Crowley. It was all via letters and communication. He was in a different country. So that I didn't know either. So you learn something every day. That was after I was out. We went to that play. And there you go. So I'm going to take this out now. Here you go. All right. That's better. Sometimes I get these frogs and there's something else. But today was a trip in LA. Were any of you in LA? I don't think so. Witness, you might have been able to go to the parade, right? I don't remember. I shouldn't say anything anyway. But it looked like it was fun. It really did. It was fun to watch. It was fun to see. Aleister Crowley, it was totally a Satanist. Absolutely. But he was smart, and Hubbard stole a lot of his stuff. Nope, I wasn't. Okay, I gotcha. No? No what? Yeah, no, he was a Satanist. You're right. She's saying, no, I wasn't as far as going to the parade, here in LA. Connie. All right, young men and women. Well, please, I was not sure if he was a Satanist or not. I believe he is, but I have to say I haven't really studied Aleister Crowley, so I'm not an expert on it. Tori, my 11-year-old, was at Asho Foundation training to be a class 5. Really? She did pretty good. While on the academy level, she was sent out into the field to recover disaffected parishioners. Wow. I'm sorry for you. That's your 11-year-old. See, now what happened there? Was she on staff or she was just there on course? What happened? See, I never had anyone try to audit me or anything, and they wouldn't have. I would have said no. It's like I want a trained adult because they're going to know what I'm talking about. Hubbard did a ritual with Fern to try to give birth to an anarchist. Yeah, I know. He had all those kooky things that he did with Parsons, too. He was a crazy guy. And then Parsons blew up his house. I drove around there trying to find it. And I finally got his book and read it. And he blew up his house. What a crazy guy. There you go. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for coming over. Thank you for swinging by. If you have anything else you want to ask me, please do. And if you don't, I think we'll just wrap it up for tonight. It's a short one, but that's just the way it is. And for the guys that see it tomorrow, I'm sorry it's short, but that's just the way it ended up. That's the way the ball bounces. Sometimes we go way long and sometimes we go short. XRP Army GA Yoda. Are you in the Army? Thank you, Verdi. Good night to you, too. And I hope you guys all hit the like button. Don't forget, I was 40 years and never read that book. I read it after I left when Tony Ortega quoted some of the time. I found a cannibalist quote in Dianetics, that's DMSMH, which is Dianetics Modern Science of Mental Health. Couldn't be farther from mental health. Insane, a very specific and strange question. Oh, inane, a very specific and strange question. Me asking if you're in the Army, that's part of your title. Why is that inane? What is Scientology? Google it. There's plenty of information about it. Just make sure you find both sides. Here's a great site. If you don't know what Scientology is, I highly recommend you go to this site. It has fantastic articles, stories, videos, books. It really is an excellent reference thing, because if you just type in Scientology in Google, all their stuff comes up, how great it is. Hi, Ernie Faye. Good night. So anyway, Bob, check out xenu.net, xenu.net. Henna Catalyst. All right, good night. Do you know anything about a married couple in Arizona being sent to Ohio to adopt a kid? No. Sounds like you do, though, so why don't you tell us? In 1981-ish, sent by C of S. I don't. I've never heard of it. They're in Arizona being sent by Ohio to adopt a kid. Sounds very strange, but Scientology is a lot of strange things. Becca from Oregon, hi. Thanks for another informative bedtime story, Tori. Much love. Thank you, Becca. I appreciate that. I feel like I let you guys down because I didn't have much to say tonight, but I don't know. I got so distracted talking to my son. I apologize. Siegling, OCMB, those were the days. I know. That's xenu.net. He called it Operation Clambake. And then it had a message board. That's the MB. And that was fun. Those were really fun times. They really were. I mean, it was crazy, but it was really fun. The fun part about it was I would go on there and say, this is something that happened in Scientology. And OSA would come on right away and say, that's not true. That never happened in Scientology. And Mark Plummer, who just passed away this year, would come on with the exact reference. Do you remember that? He had references for everything. He was on staff for years, and he would at a fingertip. He had the reference. You could say this is what they do. He had the reference to show you in black and white. This is what they wrote. It's written. Yeah, we enjoyed. Oh, you enjoyed it. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad, Verity. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for coming by. And see, here's my new nails. I got rid of my Halloween orange. So now I'm into November. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend and stay safe, have fun, and do something that makes you happy every single day. That's one of my mother's tips that has helped me all my life. All right, so I'm going to say good night unless you guys have anything else you want to say. Okay, looks like you don't. All right, well, I'm going to end off. Good night. And the next time I'll talk to you will be, all right, here's Pause. Hi, Pause. Listening from bed. You could answer this another time if you prefer, but did you say you taught your son Japanese? Could you elaborate? I said I tried to teach him Japanese. They were really big. Dr. Doman was really big on children, very, very young babies. That is the best time to teach children anything because they can learn. They're like sponges and they can just learn anything. So we all got on with the program and did it, but part of it was another language. And so we started learning Japanese, listening to it and konnichiwa and ohayo gozaimasu. I just knew a little bit of it, not much. We didn't do that much of it. And he also did Suzuki violin, which is Japanese. It was a Japanese violin teacher who figured out these little tiny violins that they had. They were 2 years old playing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And he learned how to do that. And it wasn't really his favorite thing and it wasn't really mine. So he didn't stick with it. But great nails, Tori. Have a great night. Thank you, Witness. All right, and good night, XRP Army GA Yoda. All right, hi, Kelly BC. Just tuning in. All right. Did you see Cece's interview on Nora's channel? Wondering what your thoughts are. I didn't. What are you? Tell me what you're curious about, because I didn't see it. I visited Japan as a teen. Oh, how cool, Pause. That is something I would love to do. I really would. I love Japan. I mean, I just went to see my brother, and one of his really dear friends is an artist, and she's mostly does Japanese art. And I loved it. Oh, it was gorgeous and really beautiful artwork. Okay, Kelly. She is a parent that her kid's in Scientology and is coming forward. Okay, so her kids are in Scientology. She's out and is a parent and speaking out. Okay. I like Guy Fawkes' mask. My big thing about the kids, obviously, if there are children in there, they need to be, handled and gotten out, somehow. But it's an easy thing to say, we need to get the kids out. They won't talk to us. Do you know what I mean? So my thing is this: make sure there's about, let's see, stopping free speech, breaking up families, fraud, medical abuse, money that they've stolen that they have and they're keeping, and the children. So that's 6 different abuses that the Church of Scientology does all the time. Now, of these 6, 5 of them we can prove. We can prove them tonight. We can have 50 or 100 families come down and speak about being broken up. We've got people with medical abuse, myself. We've got people that stopping free speech, we can just go up and talk to them. There you go. The very fact that we can't go in the orgs and find out if the kids are in there is another abuse of theirs. But you figure they won't let in journalists, they won't let in the police. So we've got to do more than just the kids, because if we just do the kids, Believe me, I know OSA. They will flip it and it won't be good. So it's better to keep these other things that are things we can absolutely prove, and we don't need their help to prove them. Do you see what I mean? Like declaring people suppressive, that's an abuse. I have my SP declare. Not a lot of people do, but I do. And I made sure I got it and I laminated it and I have it to this day. Now, I apologize. The remarks were to answer your question about my 11-year-old. Oh, so it's your 11-year-old, Cece. Okay. Hang on just a second. Now, let me just look. She was ASHO Foundation SO Crew. Wow. And she was how old? Wait, let me just see. Okay, how old was she, Cece? Now I can't find you. Okay. Where are you? How old did you say she was? She's 11 years old and she was in the Sea Org and you let her? See, you have to okay that. What happened there? Did you just feel like you had to let her? See, my son joined and I went and got him out the next day. That was it. It was just like, he already had made up his mind. He didn't want to do it. My husband and I were crying and we felt like someone had kidnapped our son. And I said, look, we got to go check it out. And he said, we can't. And I said, Harold, what would a judge say? What if, let's just think about this for a minute. What if they are doing something abusive to our child? And we find out, and now we take them to court. What would a judge say? And he goes, I don't know. And I said, well, I know. He'd say, did you ever go check on your son and see what happened? And what are you going to say? Oh, we were in a cult, no. So I said, I'm going. And I went over there and they said, you're not allowed in. And I said, no, that's not going to go down. What do I need to do to come in this horseshoe? And they said, you have to know a Sea Org member. I said, fine. I know almost all of you. I grabbed someone. I said, I'm coming in with you. I went in. And in the back were all in orange, the EPF, which are the kids that are studying to be in the Sea Org. And one kid in the very, very corner was in all black, my son. And I just went like this, you come on over here. And he came over and I said, what's up? And he said, have you heard the bad news? And I said, no, what's the bad news? And he said, I don't want to stay. And I said, okay, well, let's go get your stuff. And we got his stuff. And I said, get everything because we are not coming back here again, for the Sea Org thing. And we got his stuff. And then I went over to Bridge and I said to Gavin Potter, who probably roped your daughter into it and roped a lot of kids into it. And I said, look, this was a totally illegal reg cycle. My son is underage. You took him out of high school to join this a billion-year contract. Not okay. I want you to tear it up and get rid of it. And he said, I can't do that. I said, okay, then you find somebody who does, because in 15 minutes, we're walking out of this building. And so he got the CO. She came down. I explained the same thing. She said, okay, you're right. She tore it up. And I said, and I don't want him to have the title of ex-Sea Org. He's not ex-Sea Org. He was never in the Sea Org. She said, okay, fair enough. So that was that. But, that was, if you're a parent and you're listening to this and somehow they've got your kid, you have to realize you have to take over and go over there and get your kid. Because especially if they're underage, they should not be in the Sea Org. I don't care how much dreamboat bullshit that they throw at you. Your kid needs to finish high school. At the least, they have to finish high school. And that is your responsibility as a parent. So it doesn't matter what they're going to say about you. It doesn't matter. It's actually, I think, illegal to take children out of high school and sign them up for a billion-year contract, which, by the way, just so you know, I told OSA because I was driving around with Janet Weiland, and I said, I want you to understand something. You are building an army of kids that will never be on staff. They will never join for 5 years. They will never go back in the Sea Org. and they will probably be out hating Scientology for a very long time. Because what happened is they got them into the billion-year contract, saying how great it is and everything. The kids got there, realized it's a piece of shit. They don't want to do it. And they'd say, no, I don't want to do it. So then they start SEC checking them. What are your overts? What are your crimes? What did you do? Why do you have to leave the Sea Org? And at the end, they give them the bill for all that SEC checking, which is basically the kid just saying from the beginning, I don't want to do it. So now they've got this huge bill, which is another illegal bill. And I told Janet that. I said, that is an illegal bill for you to charge these children with, and they're underage. They can't go out and get a job. This is ridiculous. And she said, you know what? You're right. You tell the parents, if they write me, I'll get the money. I'll get it canceled. I'll get the whole freeloader thing canceled. And she did. A couple of parents did it. Most of the parents didn't. And I have no idea what happened with those kids. But I know a couple of them did write in and she canceled it. So just so you know, they know it's not okay. I haven't finished it yet. She was on with Nora and Jamie Mustard. Okay. She is taking accountability. So heart-wrenching. Check it out if you have time. I will, Kelly. Thank you. Cece, I didn't see you there. Thank you so much for your words. Well, Cece, thank you for speaking out also. The GOAT, always great to see you on the live stream. Acer211, thank you. You guys are great. Bob, enjoy the rabbit hole? Okay. Oh, because he's going to go study. Okay, good evening. Yeah, it is a rabbit hole. She's right. It goes, it's deep. So just take a little bit at a time. I know Gavin Potter, I have said for 24 years, Gavin Potter should be in prison. He should. He really should. I mean, I just think it's horrible what he has done to get these kids into the Sea Org. It's awful. It's fine, Cece. I'm happy you told me. I'm just, and if I'm being like harsh with you, I don't mean it with you. I know how it is when you're surrounded by people. And I was at Flag when all these parents their kids were joining the Sea Org, and it's weird. It just is. But I'm just saying for the other parents, if there's someone listening and their kids are getting recruited in, they do not have to go. You can go and get them out, and you should. I highly recommend it. Now, you tell me, Cece, are you happy with your daughter in the Sea Org? Cancel Disney Plus 2. Okay, Bob. Cancel Disney Plus 2. I don't know what that means. Tori, would love to see you do another collab with Mark Bunker soon. We are going to do one soon. Yeah, we have that planned. I know I asked you the question. I did, Cece. And I'm sorry your daughter got snagged into it. It's the worst. It is. It's the worst. And I'm surprised that they would send her out to do that. I just am. It's not something I have personally witnessed. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I know it does because of different people who've told me. But me personally, it hasn't been something that I've witnessed. And I don't think I'd do it because I wouldn't do it because I trained with some of those kids. And that's a whole nother story. I'll tell you another time. But whoa, they really have, they're not grown up enough to communicate with us on a level that would work. They might be able to run some Scientology, but these guys that I trained with it was like bad news. They had the encyclopedia in the course room to give you an idea. That's how bad it was. They were going, now here's where Washington, D.C. is, if someone mentions that. And I thought, no, wait a minute. These are people that are going to audit and they don't know where Washington, D.C. is? I mean, I was just stunned. I really was. It was like, no, not, can't be. But I guess it is. So anyway, I hope your daughter's okay. And I hope maybe she'll come out. Is she still in there? Is she still in the Sea Org? CC? So she was born and raised in the Sea Org. And she's your daughter. So you got out, but she didn't. Is that right? Do I have it right? Hi, Windy City Thetan Watch. Good morning, Tori and Cruz. So rarely made the lives. I know. Tori, when I first got involved with the XS Scientology movement, Anonymous was in the news. And then a time later, some of them were coming after you. You handled that well. I thank you for all you have done. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, they came after me for years. I mean, it started in 2000 when the night that I posted, I was leaving. Yachty was right on there. Don't trust her. She's really secret OSA. And now, just so you know, I mean, as of last Christmas, now I'm not just I'm not just top secrets OSA. I am CIA. I mean, that really was amazing to me. I have never laughed so hard when that guy told me. I said, what did they say about me? Because he said, wow, they really hate you. And I said, I warned you. So I called him the next day and I said, what did they say about me? And he said, well, they said, you're a deep cover, undercover CIA agent. I was like, all right, there we go. And some wonderful person sent me that hat. And I thought, perfect. Okay, Washington, D.C., not Marvel. Right, Washington, D.C. Thank you, CC. LOL, there she goes, CIA Tori. I know. You got to admit it's funny. I mean, they have been after me. Did you hear did any of you watch the one that I did the other night about their latest black PR on me, which is like, oh, Tori's so old and she should just stay home and sleep and rest. And it was like, good Lord, get a grip. You guys, they need better writers. They used to have people that would come up with stuff that was, pretty sharp, but this is like, come on. You're going to go after a senior. I'm 77. I am old. So what? That doesn't mean I can't go out and do stuff. Knuckleheads. The deep state. Yep. It is true. Well, you will be learning more about the deep state if you go to xenu.net. All right, kids. Well, let's see. Both, they have no idea who they are dealing with. Yeah. Oh, bah. They have no idea. Yeah. True, Kelly. Yeah, I mean, but you'd think after 24 years they would get a grip. I think it was Marty Rathman sent me the 25-step program to muzzle Tori. And it's called For Your Eyes Only. And you can Google it and it comes up. It's awful. Having my husband go to the Better Business Bureau and say how evil I am. And it just went on and on and on. You can barely, I can barely keep up with you, Tori. I've been doing this forever. It's just one of those things. I mean, you can keep up with me. Of course you can. Good one, Tori. Tori's old. I know. Really? I mean, that's your best shot? That's your best shot? That's what my dad used to say. That's your best shot? I'm old. That's my best shot? That's your best shot? That makes you look pathetic. It does. And especially when you see how old they look. I mean, I feel bad for them. I really do. I would love to see you do a deep dive into Mart. Into Mart? Okay, I don't know what Mart is. Okay, at this point, they also realize that there is nothing they can do, yet COB demands that they do something, so they have to keep doing stupid things. I think you're right. I think that's it. And I also think it's just an epic fail. Like they have just failed and failed. And my thing is like, come on over, come talk to me. And if they could just apply their basic tools that they teach people and come over and talk, who knows where things might have gone, but they can't. All right, now what is this? Kelly. Good God, witness, I couldn't keep up with her. Oh, come on, you guys. You're being kooky now. Tori Magoo 44, Marty. That's how you can find it? Tori Magoo 44, Marty? Okay. Is that on this site, Kelly? Is that on the Tori Magoo 44? The Marty thing is on here? I know I saved it, but me figuring out where I saved something is a whole nother thing. Agree, Sealand. They fail. They do. I mean, when you read this 25-step program, you'll be like, oh my God. I mean, they called every radio station to ever interview her. It's like, look at me. Do I look that evil? I mean, come on. It's funny. Anyway, there you go. It's been a delight being with you tonight. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for adding your questions and your input. Oh, you use DuckDuckGo. Yeah. My friend that just passed away used to use DuckDuckGo. He told me that's a really good research, like, I forget what you call it, but, a thing to search with. Search engine. No, I would like to see you do a deep dive into Marty Rathbun. Ugh, why? You have to tell me why first. Epic fail, loop osa. Come up with more stories to tell DM. Tacos await out the door. Just leave. Yeah, the way out is the nearest door. I say it all the time. I've said it for 24 years. And a lot of people have left. It's easy. You open the door, you walk out. They can't do anything against you. It's against the law. And if they try to, you say, give me a phone. I'm calling 911. And just call 911 and say, I need help. Come up. Here's the address. I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding. It's like you need to do stuff like that. And get out. Take back your life. I'm tired of these guys being in there. Tori, I love you. My daughter left. Okay, came back and left again. Good. She now has 2 grandchildren from me as soon as I fix this disconnection. Oh, if I can help you in any way, let me know, because I think I can. But if you want, I'd be happy to help you with that, because good God, time rolls on. You know what I mean? She needs to get you back in her life. Oh, I'm so happy she's out. That's wonderful. Okay, good. Well, let me know. You've got my number, and let's get together and figure this thing out. I just like to hear your perspective, but no pressure. On what? Oh, on Marty Rathbun. I don't think I'm going to spend my time doing a deep dive on Marty Rathbun. I'm sorry. My perspective is this. He came, he got brainwashed, he got brainwashed some more, he left for a little bit, and then they pulled him back in. And they said, look, here's the deal. You can sue us, but we're going to take you down, and we're going to take your wife down. So you can either take our so many millions of dollars we're offering you and get the hell out of here with one exchange. You've got to post some shit about Tony and Karen De La Care. Those 2 things. If you do those things, take our money and never say another word about us, you're free. Or you can go the other route, Keep suing us. You will lose. I promise you. Here's our facts of how many people have tried to sue us and failed. And then you will have to pay us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I think Marty went, you know what? We're taking the money. We're out of here. And I know that they gave him the money because they bought a $500,000 house and they didn't have money for that. So that's what I think. And that's the deepest dive I'm going to go with Marty Rathbun. I wouldn't waste another minute with him. Okay, he came, he saw, he noped out. All right. Tori. Okay, this is Cece. Her dad is a wonderful father. Oh, good. Oh, he's still in the ESO. Ugh. I don't blame her for standing by her father. No, I don't either. No, I think it's good that she does. But that doesn't mean she can't see you. I need to talk to you individually, not online. But I need to talk to you. Yeah, Marty's back in. He went back in. That was the deal. It was like, I don't know that he's really back in, but he's not a critic. You know, he shut up. They got him to shut up, and that's all they wanted. Whether he's really back in or not, that I don't know. He's not in. Yeah, he's just paid off and silenced. And I know tons of people in that boat. So he's not the only person that happened to. And most of them regret it. They really do, because it's a bunch of money, but there goes your free speech for the rest of your life. Now, what I told him, and I'm going to tell anybody this. No, never mind. I'm not going to tell you online. I'll tell you another thing. In person, if you want to know, ask me in person. But I don't want to tell you online because they'll weasel into it. Marty took the money and ran. Exactly. DM couldn't trust Marty anymore. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think DM can trust anybody. I don't think he ever trusted him. You know, he's too much of a, I don't know. I'm not going to call him names. He's a sick person. He really is. And unfortunately, there's really good people that keep following him. God knows why. If they paid enough, Tori, would you take the money, Tori, and shut up? No. What did I just say? I just said everyone I know that I've talked to who took the money to some degree regrets it. I don't know that they would not have taken it at the time when they took it. It was the right thing to do. But they wouldn't now. All of them told me no, they wouldn't now. And I wouldn't now either. It's the rest of your freedom for the rest of your life. No, that's not worth money. DM is a paranoid man. Yeah, that is correct. No, Kelly. No. They wouldn't give me millions, first of all, because they hate me. Because I'm undercover CIA agent. There you go. I love you, Kelly, too. I really do. I love all of you. I want to thank you for being here. Please hit the like button. Freedom is free. Exactly. And it's to be honored. And, you know, I hope everyone that's in America votes and we change this country around. And DM's mental issues are only going to get worse. Yeah, exactly. Way worse. And that's the scary part. Very good point, Witness. All right. So anyway, you call me sometime this week, Witness, probably after Tuesday, because we got to get through the election. All right. Anyway, thank you, Cece. I appreciate it. Please don't go. This is a very destimulating. Oh, okay. All right. I'll stay. What do you want me to talk to you about? Thank you, though. That's very kind. I appreciate it. What, the kind of the stuff that I want to talk to you about, I'm not going to talk about here. Good night, Verity. Thank you for coming on. It's very personal, CC, and it's very important. And it's very important that these weasels called the Office of Special Affairs don't have any idea what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to discuss it here. But if there's something else you want to ask me about, hit me. It's very stimulating. All right. Something to talk about. Let's talk about LMPT. What's LMPT? LMTP. DuckDuckGo is for everything. Yep. So what's LMPT? Tell us about the LMPT. You mean the Lisa McPherson Trust? The LMT? There's no P in it. Yeah, it's the Lisa McPherson Trust. Yeah. Okay, so it's just called LMT, I think, right? Anyway, it's the trust. It's the Lisa McPherson Trust. Okay, so Lisa was someone who wanted out of Scientology. And she went out in the street, took off her clothes, was hoping someone would realize there's something wrong with her, take her to a hospital. And they did for a minute until the Church of Scientology got there and said, no. She's our parishioner. We're going to take care of her. We'll put her back in the Fort Harrison. And they said they did. I don't think they did, because she had bug bites all over her. And I've stayed in the cabana in the back. It's the most expensive rooms because my mother-in-law paid for it. And we stayed there. And it's not only expensive, it's very close to the HGC where people get auditing. And people pay a lot of money to get auditing. So they're not going to have someone that is quote unquote type 3 crazy screaming in a room a few rooms down from where people are paying thousands of dollars to get auditing. I don't think so. And I know they didn't have bugs in those rooms. So I think she was out at US 19, which one of the waitresses, or she was like a room maid, and she and I became friends, and she took me out there one day and I said, let me come in. And she said, no. She said, it's too awful, Tori. This is where all the kids are and the parents and a lot of bugs. And it's just unhealthy. I don't want you to come in there. And that's where I think they had Lisa until close to when she was ready to die. And then they may have moved her to the cabanas and then to the doctor. But anyway, because of that, Bob Minton, who's a multimillionaire, and Stacy Brooks and Jesse Prince started the Lisa McPherson Trust in honor of Lisa McPherson and to help people get out of the Church of Scientology. And I was one of them. So when I woke up, I said to Andreas, hi, I stand alone. Hello, Scotland. I said, you've got to help me. I can't do this by myself. And so he said, all right, let me look into it. And so he said, I'll talk to someone. So I get an email from Stacy Brooks, who was part of the Lisa McPherson Trust. And I think, oh, good. And she sends me a thing, Dear Magoo, who are you? Stacy Brooks. And I sent her an email back and I said, Dear Stacy, remember when you woke up and you were probably super paranoid and you don't know who to trust? And I can't really tell you who I am because I wasn't really sure. Maybe they're Osa, just pretending to be helping people. I didn't know. And so that's what I wrote her. And so I get an email back right away. And I think, she's going to help me. And I open it up and it says, Dear Magoo, sorry we can't help you, Stacy Brooks. And I was just like, oh my God. I thought I was going to die. I really did. And I felt like I was standing on 1,000-foot top mountain, looking all the way down. I was nude. That's how I felt. And I'm looking down and there's a sign at the bottom. You might make it if you jump. And I have a sign in my house to this day, leap and a net will appear. But you have to make the leap. So I did. I called Stacy. I sent her a thing saying, all right, here's who I am, bop, bop, bop. And she called me and said, Tori, I know you. We audited together in the AO. And anyway, we became fast and furious friends. So that was that. Then they helped me get to, she said, what do you want to do? And I said, I really don't know. I don't know what to do. I was so overwhelmed. And she said, well, how about if we just fly you out here for like a week or two and you just come visit? I said, okay. So that's what happened. And I've told you the story about how they did all this shit between LAX and Tampa. At LAX, I was still a Scientologist. By the time they'd canceled my van, the vice president was at LAX, followed me all around, anyway, Jesse Prince walked me through it and helped me. But by the time I got to Tampa, I was an activist. That was it. It was like, this is ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Bob Minton, too. I really do. He was a wonderful person. I mean, wonderful, smart, fun, really great guy. All of those guys were. Stacy was, Jesse was, Mark Bunker is. They were a great group of people. Jeff Jacobson, he was a trip. He came up with the Gandhi tech for picketing, which is basically just peacefully picketing. Do you think Jesse would come on with you? I don't know if he'd come on with me because he's in Long Beach and I'm in Burbank, but he would. He wants to come to a protest. He does. So if we have another protest, Mark is my fave. I know. He's everybody's fave. He's a great guy. But I do think he'll come to a protest. So we got to have a protest, set it up, and then get Jesse to come. I mean, on a stream. Oh, that's an idea. I forgot I can do that now. Well, let me check it out with him. I'll ask him and see. I'll check it out. All right. So did you guys all hit the like button before I leave? Because I've got to go to bed. I do. It's been a long day. Thank you, Kelly. That's a great idea. So I've got to do one with Mark, but then I'll check with Jesse and see if he'll do one on the stream. That would be fun. That would be really fun. That's a good idea. And maybe the three of us too, Mark and Jesse and I. I'd be over the moon to see Jesse on with you. I know we're dear friends. I mean, he's a wonderful guy. He really is. All right. Well, I'll see what I can do. I'll work on it. I'm going to definitely put it on my list. Okay, question. Where is Stacy Brooks? I don't know. Last I heard she was living in Ireland, but I was told she was in Atlanta now. I believe she's in Atlanta. Bob died over in Ireland, and I think she came back to Atlanta to be with her family. Yes, you three. All right, well, we'll see. Let's just start with one and go from there. Anyway, thank you for the idea. I'm going to put it on my list of things for interviewers, for people to interview, because Jesse for sure would be great. And Bunky we're already planning on one pretty soon. Let me see my notebook. All right, so Mark Bunker, Jesse Prince, yeah, Phil Jones. That's the other person I want to interview. Anyway, let's get those three going first. Thank you, Tori. You always have my support. Thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate that. And pause. Thank you. I'm really happy you guys came on tonight. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for contributing. I really appreciate it. Oh, wait, here's one start thing that I didn't get to. Oh, there it is, Cece. Did I put it where it's on here? There you go. Please don't go. This is very destimulating. All right. And destimulating, just for people, I think that's a Scientology term, but it just means re-stimulated means you're upset about something. Destimulated means it's calming down. So there you go. So that's the thing that I work on a lot, is trying to help calm things down. One of my talents. All right, kids. Well, anyway, thank you. Bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Have fun. All right? Okay. And I will be on Sunday night. That's my next time. I'm going to do Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. That's my plan. All right. Peace out.